What up? What up? What up? It's your boy J Real, and this right here is Writer's Block. You know what I mean? This is for a hip hop. It's a hip hop podcast still. You know what I mean? Where what I do here is I review memoirs. You know what I mean? Biographies, autobiographies. You know, things like that to tell some of these. You know what I'm saying? Dope hip hop stories that a lot of us. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, if you're part of the hip hop community, you know what I'm saying, you should be interested in a lot of these books, man, because they tell a lot of the stories of some of our favorite artists and some of the things that they went through and how they got, you know, in the game and what happened when they was in the game and this, that, and the other. So we're going to start with Tupac Shakur, the Authorized Biography by Staci Robinson. You know what I mean? That's pretty dope. You know what I mean? So let's start with who is Staci Robinson, first of all, right? Because I know a lot of y'all going to say, well, who is she and why does she get the write the authorized biography of Tupac's book? You know what I'm saying? Well, Staci Robinson, she's an author, obviously, right? But she also went to high school with Pac. No, not the School of Performing Arts in Baltimore. She went to school with him in California when he went to Talipine High. Y'all remember that video that he did at I think it was originally on the Thug Angel joint. I don't know if y'all y'all probably know about it by now, but I remember I had that back on VHS in the early 2000s when VHS was going out, but some people still had VCRs. Yeah, I was one of those. So it was on that joint. Or was it on Life of an Outlaw? No, that is Thug Angel. It's called Thug Angel Life of an Outlaw. So anyway, so she went to school with Pac, you know what I'm saying, high school with Pac or whatever, and you know, they took a lot of classes and everything together. And also, when he was living out in California, you know what I mean, he had went and moved in with her and her roommates in their crib. You know what I mean? And you know how that go. They going to school and this, that, and the other. This when Pac had dropped out. They going to school and Pac is just there, you know, writing in his rhymes. She said he came, when he pulled up, all he had was a blue notebook and a bag. You know what I mean? Like just some clothes and his notebook. You know what I mean? And every day they come home from school and shit like that, Pac just like, yo, listen to what I wrote. Listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. I'm going to be a big star one day. You know how that go. They like, okay, whatever, Tupac, whatever, cool. You know what I mean? But they did fuck with him though. Obviously, they wouldn't let him stay. So she did a lot of writing, you know what I mean? But she didn't do like this type of writing. She wrote like Black Love and stuff like that, if you will. You know what I mean? So you know, when Pac blew up and everything like that, you know what I mean? She's like, oh shit, you know, I know him. I went to school with him. So anyway, Pac's mom, fast forward, Pac's mom wanted her to write Tupac's biography, even though, which is crazy because Pac always wanted to write a book about his life, which is actually pretty dope because he actually wanted to write a book about his life when he was like in like high school as a teenager, and that's crazy. But anyway, so Pac mom wanted her to write the book, you know what I mean, because she felt like she could tell Pac's story, you know, very well, and she did a lot of interviews with like people that was close with Pac, you know what I mean, family members and things of that nature. And the crazy story about the book is she got the book deal and she started writing the book, and then they told her, never mind, we can't, for some reason, we can't let you finish the book. So then she's like, damn, I got all this information, what am I gonna do with it? And then it came back around pretty much, and Pac's mom is like, yo, no, I want you to do this book. You know what I mean? So she ended up, like I said, doing the book, obviously, right? So me, being a Pac fan I have the physical copy right here, as y'all can see. You know what I mean? I got mine's a couple of days before it came out. This joint came out last month, like October 24th, I want to say. And I also, me being a Pac fan that I am, I can't help it, I also have the ebook. You know what I mean? And I got a lot of bookmarks and highlights and stuff that I had bookmarked and everything just so I can know certain places I wanted to talk about certain things. Now, we all know how it starts off. Let's just keep it real. You know what I mean? It starts off with Pac's mom, Afeni, you know what I mean, with what she went through with the Panther 21 trial and all of that kind of stuff. Now, the thing about this is, for those that don't know, when Pac's mom went on trial, okay, she made bail pretty much. And when she was out, that's how she got pregnant with Pac. You see what I'm saying? Because, you know, they make it seem like, they damn near make it seem like she got pregnant in prison. You know what I mean? Like the way the story is told, it seemed like she got pregnant in jail, but that's not the case. You know what I mean? She was out on bail. She was the only one that was out. You know what I mean? So that's how that goes. Now, also for those that don't know, you gotta look it up. Lumumba Shakur is the reason why they are the Shakurs. Okay, Lumumba Shakur. Y'all look him up, and then y'all will know what I mean about the Shakurs and why they're called the Shakurs. He is the one. He didn't make up the name Shakur. We know that, but as far as the Shakurs go in America, he's the one that started the Shakur name as far as America go and stuff like that. Now, the thing about it is, right, she was dealing with Lumumba's son. Know what I mean? She was dealing with him, but you know how that go. They kind of fell off. So that's when she started messing with his brother. I'm just being honest. Mutulu Shakur. You know what I mean? She was messing with Mutulu or whatever. But during this time, when she got pregnant, of course, she was messing with, just being honest, she was messing with Legs and she was messing with Billy Garland. You know what I mean? And, you know, Legs was just more like, he my son, I don't care. You know what I mean? But come to find out, Billy Garland was his real father. That's a whole nother story. You know what I mean? Shout out to the OG Billy Garland, though. You know, he told his story, and I'm glad that he did, because it's been so one-sided for so long. But that's another story for another time. So where do we start, right? Of course, we know Pac's born in New York. You know what I mean? So his mom being a Panther and everything like that, she named him his real name. She named him Tupac Shakur, but on his birth certificate, she put Parrish Lassane Crooks, because she didn't want people coming after her son because of the name Shakur. But she actually did name him Tupac Amaru Shakur, but she put that on his birth certificate. Now, I know how that sounds. It's like, well, if that's on his birth certificate, and that's his name. But, hey, I'm going by what his mom said, not what I think. You know what I mean? So, let's see here. She named him after this girl that she was locked up with or whatever. I want to say her last name was Crooks. Shorty she was locked up with. You know what I mean? Let me see. Let's go here. Let me see. Threat to society. You know what I mean? Parrish Lassane Crooks on the birth certificate named after Carol Jean Crooks, a.k.a. Crooksy. That was her homegirl she was locked up with. You know what I'm saying? That's her cellmate. Lassane was her sister Jean's last name. So that's where Lassane Crooks come in. You see what I'm saying? So you're like, well, how's his daddy named Billy Garland and his mama named William Alice Faye Williams? You know what I'm saying? And his name this, that. This is how she named her son. Know what I mean? So that's where the name comes from. Okay, boom. So we all know, you know what I'm saying, Pop Mom, what she was going through trying to raise her kids or whatever. She had a Tupac and Setua, which they don't really talk a lot about Setua in this book. I kind of want to want to know more about Setua. I know that's his sister, but they kind of just say that's his sister in the story. But yeah, so they did a lot of moving around, you know what I mean? And by the way, the shorty that she was locked up with, you know what I mean, she used to come through and babysit Pac while she was running errands or trying to, go to work, get a job, do whatever she had to do. And you know how that went. She couldn't keep no job because of who she was. So it was like once they find out, they would fire her, all kinds of shit. Which, like I said, it's like, it's kind of hard to even explain this book because most of the stuff people should know by now. You know what I mean? But if you really trying to learn more about Pac, I think this is the perfect book for you. To, you know what I mean? Really learn more about Pac. But let's see here. So boom, right? Like I said, did a lot of moving around. You know what I mean? One time they had moved into a nice suburban area in New York, and it was a nice house. You know what I mean? But they couldn't really afford it, so they got evicted. They got evicted a lot. But luckily, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call her this. I'm just gonna call her Aunt Glo, cause that's who she is. You know what I'm saying? It's Aunt Gloria. You know what I mean? They would always move in with her. She always had their back. You know what I mean? So all of them was like real family oriented because they was all for the movement. So like Aunt Glo, Gaddafi's mom. I don't want to say Gaddafi's mom, but Yasmin. You know what I mean? Yasmin Fuller. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, it was a whole lot of that stuff, man, that was going on with them. And another thing that I do like about this book is once you listen to a lot of Tupac's lyrics, after reading this book, you kind of understand what he meant more. Like for instance, on Still I Rise, the album Still I Rise, the Tupac and Outlawz album, right? when he said Papa running from the feds, putting peanut butter on the walls to hide his prints. That's a true story. That is a true story. That was not just a dope ass. That was just not dope lyrics. What actually happened was, let me see. I'm about to pull this up for y'all. Cause like I said, it's so much easier to look through the audio book. You know what I mean? So boom, right? Once inside, he gave each of his kids a jar of peanut butter and instructed them to cover the wall, the counters, the walls, and doorknobs anywhere they thought that they might be able to get fingerprints. So that's the reason why he said it. They was really putting peanut butter on the walls to hide the fingerprints in case the feds came looking for Gaddafi's father. You know what I mean? Because he was on the run too. You know what I mean? So you could just only imagine the things that they had to go through being on the run from they whole family is like beefing with the federal government. I mean, bro, that's amazing within itself, right? So we all know that, you know what I mean? And then like when he said back in the ghetto doing wild shit, you know what I'm saying? He said we got evicted, had to leave the birds back in the ghetto doing wild shit. That's when they had moved to a nice suburban joint like I was telling y'all about, and they got evicted. Had to go back to the hood, you know what I'm saying? But they was just trying to live the best life they could, but I mean they really couldn't afford it. But they was just trying to do the best that they could with what they had. So, you know, like I said, a lot of family members looked out for Pop, you know what I mean, as far as babysitting and all that kind of stuff. But you know, of course, he moves to Baltimore. His mom got him in the School of Performing Arts. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, that part always like puzzled me, because how did he get into that school? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like he's there. His mom just got him into school. And for me, I was always like, well, how did he afford to go to the school? Because it's a School of Performing Arts. Now, unless you had, yeah, because from my understanding, unless he had like an audition or something, but I don't understand how that really works. Because I mean, Jada Pinkett went there too, and she was from the hood. So, I mean, it must didn't have to pay no type of tuition. I don't know. You know what I mean? So his School of Performing Arts story is pretty good to me too, because Pop was a artsy kid. You know what I mean? He was a nerd. I mean, just keeping it real. Like, this is a fact. You know what I mean? He had like 2 pair of pants. You know what I mean? So what he would do is he would draw on his pants and make styles out of it the best he could. Because like I said, it's a School of Performing Arts school. It's not like regular high school where everybody is so, you know, got to dress cool or whatever. They really kind of did their own little thing at the school. You know what I'm saying? It's an art school, so they wanted the kids to express themselves the way that they do. So, let's see. So he's going to school there, obviously. You know what I mean? His mom, just keeping it real, you know, she's on drugs, but he ain't really trying to, I ain't gonna say not trying to recognize it. Like, he know what his mom going through, but it was hard for him to deal with it. So, you know, he just did what he had to do. He ended up bouncing, of course, going to go stay with a couple of friends. White dude. He wrote a poem about that white dude. That was his homeboy, man. They fell out about some shorty and some other shit. Then dude kind of bounced on him. It's kind of crazy. I don't know how to explain that story, but I get it though. You know what I mean? Let's see. So then Pop, he started, you know, he wrote a lot of poetry, obviously, but him and his homeboy, they would do rap battles. You know what I'm saying? Him and Mouse. You know what I'm saying? This is back in the day type shit when niggas used to beatbox and a nigga used to spit. You know what I mean? So he started doing that at the school and shit. And so his name started getting out there at the school. Like, yo, dude, pretty dope, pretty talented. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was always pretty cool. Him and his homeboy Mouse. You know what I mean? But Pop was broke, man. I mean, he was really like poor, man. Dude was like poor. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga had a mattress on the floor, and you know what I'm saying? Like, nigga was really poor, man. Let's see, because like I said, man, but it's like it's not too much you don't know about Pop, so I can't tell y'all Pop did this, Pop did that, Pop did this, Pop did that, because that's pretty much what everybody knows. And they just pretty much summarizing in this book. I'm not saying that it's a bad book, but it's not a lot that I personally didn't learn about Pop that I didn't know. So, you know, what I did, okay, I ain't gonna lie. What I didn't know was I thought Pac and his sister, when they left Baltimore, I thought Pop and his sister, his mom sent them to Baltimore. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, to California, to Marin City. But actually, he sent the sister first. So I'm like, oh, okay. So his sister was already there. Then, you know what I'm saying, Pop had to go. He left. You know what I mean? Which he really didn't want to, because he was actually like thriving at that school. And he was kind of like, okay, I think I found my place. But you know how that go. But that's how he ended up doing the Raising in the Sun. You know what I'm saying? From the School of Performing Arts in Baltimore. You know what I mean? But like I said, his sister was already there. So I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? I thought they went together. Nah. So boom. Pop ends up going there. It's like I said, we know the story already, right? So, you know, he's there. He's trying to, you know what I'm saying? He's doing his thing, but, you know, he's poor. You know what I mean? So all he really had was his rhymes and his mind. Yo, that's crazy. You know what I mean? But Pop always had which we noticed, but he always like hated authority or authority figures like police, security guards, and shit like that. They always kind of reminded him of what he went through. I think that was like PTSD because of the shit that he went through with the police and shit as a child. So I kind of personally think I understood why he didn't like the police, because of the shit that he went through. You gonna feel like that too, probably. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what he went through with that. Then, like I said, so he out there trying to get on, but he was about to say, fuck that shit, man, because this shit wasn't moving fast enough for him. You know what I mean? Like when he met Layla Steinberg, who introduced him to Atron Gregory, which, like I said, we already know this, right? But he was really about to bounce and go to Atlanta because they wanted him to be like the head of the new African Panther Party for like the youth coming up, and they wanted Pop to be the head of it, and they really wanted him to do it. And he was going to do it if shit didn't jump off with the music. So they was pretty much like, we finna lose Pop, man. What you gonna do? So he was like, well, look, I don't really got no place for you on the mic right now, but you can come on the road with us and be a roadie. So actually, Money B's brother was the roadie, one of the roadies. He kicked his brother off the tour and brought Pac on, which I thought was kind of like, wow, because he was like, his brother wasn't really doing nothing. He just was a roadie. It wasn't nothing else he could do. But Pac with background, he would dance and all kinds of shit until he got his chance to get in the stew. And it was like, yo, you can get in, you know what I mean? So that's how Same Song came about, as we know. And he was in the Dan Aykroyd. They was on a Dan Aykroyd soundtrack with that movie. I ain't gonna lie, I can't think of the name of the movie right now. But it was also in the movie, you know what I'm saying? Like, Pop was in that movie, even though nobody knew who the fuck he was at the time, but you know how it go. So that was pretty dope. So, but he did talk to the chapter in Atlanta, and he was, because one of his first actual interviews was about that. So you got to go listen to that. Check it out. That's on YouTube. That was pretty dope. So like I said, man, it kind of just goes into Pac's story, somewhat more in depth with certain situations where you could kind of see why he felt the way he felt about certain things, and you'll get more of an understanding. That's what I like about it personally. But again, if you know a lot about Pac, you're not really gonna get too many surprises. But if you're trying to learn about Pac, this is the perfect book for you. You know what I mean? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to tell y'all everything that's in the book, because a lot of the stuff y'all already kind of know the story of Pac. You know what I mean? But let's see. Like, okay, for instance, when Pac got shot, right? And this has been talked about, but I don't think people talk about it enough. You know what I mean? Like when Pac got shot, and Big actually did come to the hospital to come see Pac. His aunt seen him too, and she seen Pac. Oh, not Pac, Big over there in the cut, like looking sad, like damn. You know what I'm saying? I don't want my homeboy to die, but with the way things was, he couldn't really get to Pac to like, I don't want to say apologize, because if he apologized, that makes it sound like he had something to do with it, when that's not the case. But you know, so that's how, you know, some of that was. And then, just being honest, when he was in the hospital, he checked himself out. But a lot of people don't know, he went back to the hospital because he was still bleeding. He wouldn't stop bleeding when he got shot pretty much in his growing area. So he had to actually go back to the hospital. All they talk about is he checked himself out and went to court. No, that's not how that happened. You know what I mean? So, you know, his pops came up there. And, you know, first his mom was like, I don't know about that. But then she was like, man, that's his dad. Fuck it. The crazy thing about it was when Pac saw his father's face, he thought he died. That's crazy. He looked his father dead in the face and thought he died. It was like seeing himself as an older man. It was like, yo, what the fuck? This is crazy. But kind of find out, he's like, you ain't dead, bro. You're dead. You know what I mean? And that was, now they don't go into detail in the book about him and his dad's conversation, which I kind of wish that they would have. I wish they really would have talked to his father, because it just say he showed up, he's out the hospital. I'm like, damn. They talk about how when he talked to his dad and like when he was going to court, Pop wasn't gonna go. Pop wasn't gonna go to jail. He was like, nah, fuck that. I'm going on the run. I'm not going to jail for some shit I didn't do. So he was really like contemplating going on the run. I'm like, damn. So he was fucked up about it. You know what I mean? Well, this is when he got to Jasmine Guy's house. Now, mind you, Pop's father came to Jasmine Guy's house, but in the book they make it seem more like he just showed up, and Pop was just more like, yeah, he just want to drink and smoke my shit up, and I don't really want this nigga around. That's how the book tried to portray it, but that ain't really how that really went, according to Pop's father. The way, if you go look at the Art of Dialogue interview, right? So, let's see. Yeah, he said because Pop was like, yo, I'm not going to jail. I'm not. Fuck that. They're gonna have to catch me or kill me. I'm not going to jail, especially for some shit I didn't do, right? So what he did was, man, Pop literally told all his people to their face that he gonna go out to the woods. All of them gonna go out to the woods. He gonna smoke a blunt with his people, and he's just gonna go out there and kill himself. And he asked his family to agree with it, and everybody's looking like, we're not finna let you do that. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So obviously that didn't happen. But like that shit really stressed Pac out, because he was really like, yo, I'm not going to prison for some shit I didn't do. This ain't right. You know what I mean? And niggas done shot me and robbed me. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So I can say I understand. You know what I mean? So, goes to the death. It talks about him in prison. But me personally, again, I want to hear more about his actual prison stint, if you will. It talked about some of it, how the guards were fucking with him. That's kind of the stuff we know. You see what I'm saying? Then, he meets Suge, gets up with Suge Knight. This, that, Now, let's talk about his prison joint. Jada visited him, yeah. Jada tried to help him get some bail money up. I'm not going to front. But let's be real. He married Keisha Morris, I'm sorry. That's who he married. And she got a hotel close to the prison so she can be there for him even more. And then she got a spot by the prison so she can be there and visit Pac damn near every day. So for Jada to say that, I'm kind of like, kind of capping, shorty. That's how I see it. Now, if you ever read Holla If You Hear Me, that's a pretty good book too. But we'll talk about that another time. But in that book, she said Pop proposed to her in that book. He asked her mom, could he marry her? And her mom was like, you can't marry my daughter. How you gonna marry her? That's what it said in that book. So that's why when that came out on YouTube years later, everybody's like, oh my God, like if she been told people this shit, but don't read. Right? So that's pretty much how they go. But Keisha is the one that kind of hooked him up with the death row, not with the deal, but she the one that made a lot of phone calls to try to help Pac get, with death row. Now, meantime, he's in there. He goes number one with Me Against the World, as we know. And I'm going to say that a lot because there's a lot of this stuff we already know. You know what I mean? But when Atron and them was like, nah, bro, no, you don't need to go to death row. He was like, well, y'all, he even told him, like, I want y'all to come with me. And it was like, no, bro, we not dealing with death row. So either it's them or us, in a sense. And Pop was like, well, I got to get out of here. So he did. And we all know Suge did not pay that whole bill. That's a fact. Interscope just didn't want their name on it like that. Know what I mean? So then he gets out, of course. And then it was crazy when he got out. They come pick him up in the limo and da-da-da. So then, they go to the studio. And they in there, mind you, Pop been free, not free, but locked up. He been free minded, like he ain't been drinking, smoking, or nothing. So he get in the studio, they drinking, smoking, turn it up. Pop just fell out because his body won't used to it no more. So he just fell out. They were like, damn, you know what I mean? So a lot of that was crazy, man. So like his death row stench, if you will, it was a motherfucker. Like, 'cause Pop was just working nonstop. You know what I mean? And what I thought was dope though, how Pop wanted to open up restaurants, a production company. Yo, you know what's crazy? Pop had a restaurant that he was gonna open up. Guess what the name of that restaurant was? It always kind of trips me out, but I'm gonna tell you. It was called Players Club. That's crazy. Think about that. He was gonna open up a restaurant called the Players Club. I'm just saying. So, he was gonna do that. Pop was trying to put together a video game. I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? He was gonna have a hotline where you can call, like if you young and you out here going through it, you know what I'm saying, where you can just call him. Well, I don't necessarily think it was necessarily you gonna call and talk to him, but for like trouble youth and people that was going through what they was going through. You know what I mean? Here we go. Bam, here we go. Watch this. No, it's not what I was looking for. I'm trying to find this joint. I cannot pronounce it, but it was like a. Anyway, but like I said, he was trying to open up a restaurant called Players Club. That tripped me out. I ain't even going front. I was like, Players Club again? Then Ice Cube comes out with a movie called Players Club. It's kind of funny to me, but anyway. So that was pretty dope. You know what I mean? Let me see. I'm trying to find the list of it actually. Excuse me. Because he had so much stuff that he was trying to do. He was actually on the way to becoming a better person, if you will. After all he had been through, he was trying to, clean up his act, if you will. You know what I mean? But he just never got the chance because of what happened, obviously. But yeah, man. Again, would I recommend this book? Yeah, I think I would. If you don't know anything about Pac, really, this is the book for you. If you know a lot about Pac, it's kind of like, okay, I didn't really get everything that I wanted. You know what I mean? But I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though it's a book, there ain't but so much you can put in a book. You know what I'm saying? I think with especially with somebody like Pac, you probably gotta have like 2-3 books on this dude just to make one biography of this guy, man, because he did so much or whatever in such a short span that we think like we think Pac died when he was like 40 or some shit, but that dude was only 25, bro. Like, we gotta remember that. You know what I mean? Big was only 24. Like, these cats was kids, man. So when people always talking about, yo, these young cats be wilding, they were young cats. Now here it is. It's on his to-do list was Makaveli Records, restaurants. I do not know how to pronounce this. Power Mika Cafe, Players Club again, and Around the World Cafe, fashion line, Dada. I do not know how to pronounce this. Dada Ni. I do not want to fuck this up. But partnership with Kadada. Him and Kadada was going to have a fashion line. He was going to have a video game called Tupac and the Outlaws with his special fighting powers, fight against the enemy. We know what that is. The publishing company with books, magazines, autobiography titled Mama's Boy, and a self-help book titled How to Get Out of the Ghetto. This is the type of stuff Pop was going to do. A music publishing company, a cookbook, a cartoon, and listen to this, a radio show. He and guest artists discuss current topics and their common love of all genres of music, not just hip hop. That's a podcast, y'all. This dude was way before his time. That's technically what we're doing now with podcasting. Pop was talking about doing that in 96. That is crazy. I mean, granted, it would have been on the radio, but you know what I'm saying, bro. Like, seriously. He had a fan club joint, a monthly newsletter to share personal stories about himself, the Outlawz, and his inner circle. His intention was to create an even more personal connection with his fans. That's crazy. A 1-800 call center. He thought about going into politics. A place called home, a charity concert to raise money for the community center, a place called home. That's crazy. He was trying to start a softball league called Euthanasia, not the other, but Euthanasia. You understand? Man, like, dude, like, was cut down so, like, before he could really show, like, his greatness. And it's sad when you think about it, because it's like, dang, what could have been, you know what I mean? And what was taken from us, you know what I mean? As fans, you know what I mean? The way he inspires so many people to this day is amazing. So, honestly, though, shout out to Staci Robinson for even doing this book. I don't know. I might do another review. I don't know. Because this book is good, bro. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? And if you're a Pac fan, you'll love it. You know what I mean? If you don't like Pac, I think if you don't like Pac like that and you was to read this, I think you'll kind of get more of an understanding on certain things. You know what I mean? Then you'll kind of say, okay, well, he won't just wildin' for no reason. Like, he really, you know what I mean? Like, there was a method to his madness, if you will. But yeah, man. Again, y'all make sure y'all get this joint. It's a thick book too. Look, it's pretty thick. Let me see. You got a lot of pictures in it. Let me show y'all some of these pictures. See, I got a physical copy. And what's the name? But hold on, let me take this out of this jacket. Take this out of the jacket. Hold on, because I want y'all to see this, and I'm trying not to tear up my jacket, because I got to have that. Bless you, baby. My daughter's sick. Y'all say one up for my daughter. Now, like, you know what I mean? Got some pictures in there. I think it's pretty dope. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of these pictures, they're great. You know what I mean? But I did want to see kind of more, like, pictures that we've never seen before. You know? Now, maybe some people haven't seen some of this. I get it. You know? But like I said, me being such a big Pop fan sometimes, a lot of things, you know what I mean, I've seen and know so much. It's, you know what I mean? But it's great. It's a good book, though, man. It's well put together. It's written very well. Like I said, got a lot of pictures of his poetry and things that he wrote. You know what I mean? I think that's really dope. Like his notebooks. That's pretty dope to me, man. You know what I'm saying? The New African Panthers, that's what the name of it was. The benefits of poverty. Wow. That's crazy. Oh, and check this cool story, man. I could go on and on, right? Like this picture right here, 1989, when he met Flavor Flav. Hold on. Bow. You see that? The story behind that is Pac had a job. No. Was it a job? I would have to go back in again. But pretty much, there was like, yeah, he was working. He said he needed time off because he wanted to go to the radio station and he wanted to meet Flavor Flav. And it was like, no, we're not giving you no time off for that. So he quit and went anyway. Like, fuck this job. You know what I mean? And went down there anyway and met Flavor Flav. That's how he took that picture with Flavor Flav. Now, you got to remember that is in 1989 when Pac was not famous at all. So that was pretty dope. And so much to tell, man. Like I said, man, when he went on tour with Big Daddy Kane, that was dope. And they did a track together. It's an unreleased joint. Y'all got to look that up too. But yeah, and Jay-Z was on that tour. That's crazy. I'm just saying. That's crazy, right? But yeah, man. So again, I would recommend this book, yo. I'm telling you, it's a good read. Especially if you want to know some things about Pac, or you just want to add it to your Pac collection. Like I got a collection of like all kind of Tupac stuff. You know what I mean? Like all kind of Tupac stuff. Matter of fact, check this out. See, like my little Pac joint. I think it's pretty cool. My daughter had kind of pointed this out. I was like, "Oh, Daddy, I want that," and I got her one too. She's a real big Pac fan too. So she's gonna end up reading that book, and amongst others. But yeah, man, it's your boy J Real, man. This is Writer's Block, man. I appreciate all y'all that, you know what I'm saying, like, share, subscribe, comment. Give me some more suggestions, man. Anything else that y'all, any more hip hop memoirs that y'all need to know about, I got plenty that I've read. So it's gonna be some more reviews coming soon, man. I appreciate all y'all, man. For real, man. Peace.